Hi, I know I haven't really been on a lot lately. I'm walking through Boston right now. I just had a networking event that I hosted, and I'm walking through the park on the way back to South Station, and I really like it. Sorry, bugs biting me. But it's really beautiful. I mean, Boston, right? And then just this little enclave here in the Rose Garden, the Rose Kennedy Parkway. Anyway, so I know I haven't been on lately, but it's kind of just haven't had. I mean, I've had some stuff to say, but not. I don't know. But I feel bad about not doing it. So I want to not feel bad because really we should. I don't want to shit all over myself. It's not the ideal thing to do to make yourself wrong. When you don't really need to be thinking of yourself as wrong. So I haven't been doing these, and I do want to. I do wish that I had. And I'm going to make an effort to do more. I've been busy, I'm tired, and all the regular excuses. So again, I'm always working on being present. A little frustrated sometimes that I'm not there, but I try to be present with my frustration. One thing that was interesting this morning. So right now, my living situation isn't what I would like it to be. But again, surrender, right? Surrender. Right now, I'm sleeping on my parents' living room floor, with like a couple of cot mattresses. My mom stays in her bedroom upstairs, and my father's bedroom is downstairs. So, and then the kitchen's there too. Anyway, so I'm sleeping there, and anytime when my parents, like my mom leaves her room, my father comes up from the basement, I wake up. So this morning, my mother was leaving, and I'm kind of a grumpy Gus when I wake up, I have to say. I prefer to wake up slowly. I prefer not to be bothered. It's so beautiful here. That is really nice. Look at this. Boston Harbor Hotel. Gorgeous. I really do love Boston. Not just for its liberal views, but for its beautiful views as well. Food trucks. They're closed. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Okay, so I'm relaxing. I'm being in the present. I feel the breeze against my skin is really nice. I've been sweating in the restaurant. It's really warm in there, and I run hot anyway. So, and it's a nice temperature out too. Can you hear that? You can probably hear that. It's very loud. I might have to wait till it passes. So, this morning, my mother's leaving the house early. It's like 7. And I figure I could sleep another hour. But I also know that cleaning people are coming. So I woke up, I was awake enough and I was just like, what are the cleaning people are coming? And she just starts a conversation with me. I'm like, I'm in fucking bed. Like, I was so irritated. Like these people who are blowing their horns are. I don't know if you can hear them, but there's a lot of horn blowing happening. Horn beeping, blowing, I don't know. But I was so irritated. Like, she just kept talking to me. I was in my bed with my blanket on, turned away from her, and she just comes and stands over me and is talking to me. And I'm like, I don't remember what I said. It wasn't rude. It just was clearly like, leave me alone. I don't remember. So she just started having a conversation with me, and she's like, she's like, do you want me to, she's like, okay, I'm leaving at 7:45. Do you want me to wake you up? And I was like, no. Or 6:45. That's what it was. Anyway, whatever it was. She's like, I'm leaving at such and such a time. Do you want me to wake you up? I'm like, no. And she's like, well, you gotta clean some stuff up. And I'm like, okay, I know. And she's like, and she just keeps going. And then she goes, eh. She's got this weird noise that she makes when she is needling me for being a little testy. And it's like, I know she doesn't mean it this way, but it feels like it's designed to irritate me more. And first thing in the morning, it just was not going down well. So I was seriously annoyed. And, you know, at that point, I just jumped up. I was like, I'm up, thanks, I'm awake, thank you for that. And, like, I spent the rest of the morning kind of in somewhat of a conversation with myself, because I was seriously annoyed. Like, I was irritated as hell. And I would start having conversations with my mother in my head about how annoying it was, and, you know, like, how I wish she hadn't done that stuff. But, you know, I'm getting better at stopping. Woo! There was a brick out of place there. Let's cross the road while we can. I've been getting better and better at noticing when I'm having those conversations in my head with someone who I'm upset with or whatever. And while I'm not trying to make myself wrong, I just notice them and stop. And I'm working on not, because there's a difference between noticing you're irritated and noticing you're having these conversations and getting annoyed at yourself for doing that, because you know you shouldn't be doing that, and suppressing them. And like that versus, you know, noticing, observing, and, you know, being okay with that, and just relaxing and releasing it. There's a big difference between the two. And I could feel that I was resisting, you know what I mean? I could really feel that, like, I wanted to be annoyed. I wanted to be irritated. I'm like, I'm irritated and I want to be irritated, and I want to get this, like, this feeling. But I was aware of it, which is a positive, you know, it's a step in the right direction. But I was still also very aware of just wanting to be irritated. Not wanting to drop it. But I was working on it, and, you know, the morning wore on a little bit. I'm so tired now, though, because I was up late last night working. Anyway, so I was having a difficult time this morning, kind of going back and forth between suppressing things and being like, let's just let this go. It's so hard, guys. But you know, the funny thing is, I know okay, we're back. I know that when I get there, it's going to be like, oh my God, this is so easy. What was my problem? You know, and I just really want to be at that place, and I get frustrated with myself that I'm not. But there's that I'm working on, and I encourage you to notice sorry, I'm just watching the traffic so nobody runs me over. I just encourage you to notice your reactions. And what the interesting thing was too, I was, you know, as soon as I got up, I put on the audiobook of Eckhart Tolle and his A New Earth. And one of the things that came up that he said was, you know, whatever it is you think you what was it? I don't remember the exact quote, but it was along the lines of, whatever you think is upsetting you is not what is actually upsetting you. And I was like, no, it is. You know, and I could hear that voice in my head and that feeling, that tug in my chest. I was like so annoyed and so like, it is. She shouldn't have done this and blah, 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 blah. And then like the logical part of my brain, it's such a small part. But there's a little, it's like back, I picture it over here. Just this little part of me that's like, you know what he's saying is true. And you know that you want to let this go. You want to not be bothered by these things. But then that, like, it's a back and forth though, right? Because then the other part of me is like, no, I do want to be bothered. I am bothered and I shouldn't, you know, it's just, yeah. There's something satisfying, right? About being angry or sad or feeling victimized, really, right? I don't know why, but there is a weird satisfaction that comes along with that, and sometimes. But anyway, so it's kind of going back and forth. So I do put on Eckhart Tolle or Michael Singer in the morning as much as I can, because I want, you know, especially the first thing in the morning. That's the thing that was really bothering me too. It's like, you're annoying the shit out of me before I'm even out of bed. Like, this is how I'm starting my day. You know? So that was making me angry too. And then like, just the whole conversation. You know that I get, you know that I'm not a morning person. Everybody insist on being irritated. Like, it just, I have all this conversation going on in my head, and that feeling of wanting to tell her, and then knowing also it's not like this is completely, it's an overreaction, right? So it's a combination of being annoyed at my mother, being annoyed at myself, being angry and irritated, being angry at myself for being angry and irritated, hearing the voices, and also identifying with the voices, but not wanting to identify with the voices, with the reasonable part of me being such a small part. But I hear that. It's progress, right? Progress, not perfection. So that's kind of what I was dealing with this morning. And, and then I have this injury. It's a repetitive stress injury from typing too much. And I'm in kind of a crunch right now because I'm never not in a crunch. But I'm in a crunch right now with writing. And I have, like, from the back of my shoulder all the way down to all the way down my arm into my hand, it hurts. It just hurts. And when I try and type, it's rough. So I'm kind of dealing with the emotional repercussions of that. I'll talk more about it later. I'm tired and I'm about to get on the tea. So I'm grateful for being in Boston, even though I didn't want to come in. Look how beautiful, guys. Right? I'm grateful for being here. And I'm just going to remind you all, even if you're kind of like, ugh, you can always choose to have a grateful night.